Thank you very much, Amy. And as you can see, the conditions have taken a turn for the slightly inclement here at Alton Park, with the rain beginning to come down and the reverse top 10 for qualifying giving the grid. So Dave Carr on pole position with Tanya Mann alongside Adam Busey and Chris Dunster third and fourth. They showed well in race one. Andy Dolan in fifth, and Sean Nash rounding out the top six, with race one winner Luigi Mazza lining up in 10th as the wipers are going. The rain is coming down and away we go. It's a good start from Dave Carr in the black car in pole position. Tanya Mann gets away well too. But look at Chris Dunster on the outside from the second row of the grid. He goes door handle with Tanya Mann, and he goes through into the lead at Old Hall in turn one. Brilliant start from fourth on the grid to first into Old Hall from Chris Dunster when he was just edged out. Well, he had all sorts of problems in race one, and he's making up for it in race two, already leading ring car with Phil Stratton-Lake as we charge down towards Cascades, where the drivers finding a little bit less grip than perhaps they'd like. Although interestingly, the rain, as you can see from Phil Stratton-Lake's windscreen wipers, not coming down in the way that it was up by the start and finish line. So very challenging conditions these for the drivers as Stratton-Lake is busy dicing away in the midfield. He's just going past James Proctor into Ireland, although he gets his nose chopped by Neil Stoddart as Chris Dunster is who leads. Dave Carr in second. No, it's not, it's Tanya Mann who goes second. So Tanya Mann, in fact, moving up into third, because as the camera pans out, we see it's the Team Intellect 1 and 2, with Chris Dunster having built out quite a hefty lead over Adam Busey in second, Tanya Mann in third, Ben Highland now in fourth. And look at that, race one winner Luigi Mazza is coming back up the order, as is ever the way from Mazza. So climbing back up the order, Dave Carr stepping down. He's got Ken Savage in the yellow number 5 car chasing him down, as Chris Dunster, well, what he could really do here with now is some team tactics with his teammate Adam Busey, keeping the rest of them at bay, which at the moment Busey's doing a rather fine job of, as they all fan out into hizzies. Tanya Mann being challenged here by Ben Highland. Windscreen wipers well ablaze, so already while they've been out at the Shell hairpin, the rain has started coming down as Dan Plant has got Andy Dolan fairly close in his tail. Out of Druids, and a big slide for Mazza in the back of the screen, as it's Dunster who leads the way, and you can see the wheel tracks in the damp and a lock up from Dunster. It was at Lodge where it all went wrong for him and put him out of the race in race one, but he scrabbles through Lodge and climbs over Dearly, on to complete the first lap of the race. Adam Busey second, Ben Highland third, and then Luigi Mazza up into fourth with Ken Savage in fifth. So it's much of the same protagonists from race one. Great to see Ben Highland's car repaired, as the car's just scrabbling for grip through Old Hall, and it's getting progressively darker here at Alton Park, and these really are the worst possible conditions for the drivers, and some varying lines through Old Hall, but everybody cleaning through. It's Paul Baker in the midst of that tussle. Here's Phil Stratton-Lake. How does he negotiate Old Hall? The answer is without too many problems. I think it's Graham Tavender and Stuart Plotnick who is immediately behind us. Ben Highland, he's on one hand trying to attack Adam Busey for second, on the other hand he's having to defend third from Luigi Mazza, and all of this on a track that's getting increasingly wet. So Ben Highland, he locks the brakes, as does Ken Savage, under braking into Shell. Does everyone make it cleanly through? Yes, they do. So running line astern, this is the battle for second, third, fourth and fifth, and then Dan Plant in sixth, just keeping a watching brief at the moment. Now this is the relatively dry section of the circuit, so the drivers can be relatively confident in the level of grip available to them. They'll then come over Hilltop, look at those grey skies, then under braking into hizzies. This is when it's going to start to get very slippery. Do we see a lock brake for Chris Dunster? No, we don't. In fact, everybody cleanly on the brakes, as Adam Busey having to go very defensive from Ben Highland, who is right on his tail and really asking all the questions. So Busey's going to have to get an excellent run out of hizzies and through Knickerbrook to carry that momentum over Clay Hill and potentially keep Highland at bay into Druids. But I think Ben Highland's got a good enough run here on Adam Busey if he's able to draw alongside. Well, they disappear from our view, and here they come into Druids. So it's the race leader, Chris Dunster, and now it's Busey who's held up on in second. So well done to Adam Busey as they come over the ripples in the track, and then under braking into Lodge. Two wheels on the grass from Mazza. He finds grip on grass. He keeps the car in one piece. He keeps it in a straight line, but he doesn't gain third position from Ben Highland, who is still vigorously contesting second place with Adam Busey. And Busey again having to go very defensive into Old Hall. And whilst I can understand Busey's motivations, the problem with doing this is that it is enabling Mazza and Ken Savage to stay in touch, as the rain really sheeting down now. The cars run on Yokohama road tyres, and they don't have a huge amount of grip available, as Andy Napier goes for Old Hall, and around he goes, and oh no, into the Armco. Not too heavy a hit. Hopefully Andy will be able to find a gear and continue. back to the run down, and Chris Dunster has been caught and is being passed by Luigi Mazza. So Luigi Mazza, the race one winner, has inexorably made his way up through the order, and he now takes the lead of the race away from Chris Dunster, and I would suspect now that Mazza is going to drive away into the distance here, because he was really being held up by the Busey and Highland batter. Now that he's cleared that, he's cleared Chris Dunster, he's able to drive away. So it's now Dunster second, Busey third, Ben Highland in fourth, as everybody else snaking through. I think we've lost Ken Savage from that battle, so Ken Savage had a moment somewhere as the Magny Cours of Steve Train exits the brook and climbs over Clay Hill. That's Tanya Mann, who starts in second, who is following in behind Steve. This is towards the bottom end of the top 10. Well, I've said that Matt might drive away, but at the moment he's not. Chris Dunster and Adam Busey, the Team Intellect teammates, keeping him very honest at this stage of the race. This is a great drive from both Dunster and Busey. Dunster sporting novice cross of the car, less than 10 car races, as Neil Stotter engaged in fairly robust battle with James Proctor, chopping across his nose. Nothing untoward with that. James Proctor went for the move, and Neil Stotter covered his line, as it's now the battle of the teammates, because Busey moves to the inside of Chris Dunster. Is he going to go through? Although Dunster's on the outside through Ireland, it does give it the inside run towards Shell, so I don't think Busey's going to be able to seal the deal this time around, though he's not. So Chris Dunster, as I was saying, a novice driver. He receives driving tuition from the ex-British Touring Car Championship driver Phil Bennett, and despite his relative lack of experience, keeping Adam Busey at bay, although in turn Busey only into his second full season of motor racing, and a driver who really has improved his pace every meeting that he's been in the Lotus Track Elite Trophy. Now that's a slight error from Chris Dunster, and this is going to give Busey the opportunity out of Britain's over Hilltop down into Hizzies. It's going to be a battle on the brakes, and I'm not sure that Busey's going to commit to it. No, he's not. Instead, decides to slot back into third, and that's a good call, because with the battle between Dunster and Busey, it's bringing Ben Highland there at the back of your screen back into play in this fight for the podium position. It is also, over the course of the lap, has just enabled Luigi Mazza to build himself about a second and a half car length, as Paul Baker, wipers ablaze, fighting in the midfield. This is for about 15th position, with Neil Stotter taking his turn to close his tail, with then Frank Matthews, the car just ahead, and then Phil Stratton-Lake as well in the 43 car. Stratton-Lake leading the train of cars. It's he who we rode in car with in the early stages of the race. So great tussle, slightly lower down the order, but these drivers having a great time, although I suspect they are finding these conditions a little bit more tricky than they'd perhaps have liked, and not quite they'd hoped. In the background you saw a spin from James Proctor, so James Proctor unfortunately rotating out of this tussle, as we've got the fight on for third, and Ben Highland challenging Adam Busey into Old Hall. No way through there. Busey sticking the car firmly into the road, so instead Ben Highland taking a swooping line through Old Hall, still content to slide it even though the track's wet. He looks to draw alongside Busey as they run down the avenue. Through he goes into third. Great manoeuvre, and that's the spin from Frank Matthews. So Frank Matthews, fortunately, having a bit of a spin lower down the order in the 32 car, no problems for him, as we're on the run to the checker flag here. Final time into Lodge, it's Mazza in the lead, with Dunster in second, Ben Highland in third, but Highland really challenging Chris Dunster through Lodge for the final time. They run side by side as they go up over Dearly, but will Ben Highland snatch second place? They go over the line, Mazza wins it, and it's Dunster who takes second by 0.02 of a second on the line. Almost impossible to split the cars, but it's Chris Dunster who just takes second, Ben Highland third, and Adam Busey in fourth. Absolutely cracking race. So final classification is the win for Luigi Mazza, with Chris Dunster second, Ben Highland in third, just 0.02 second down. Adam Busey fourth. Dan Plant rounds out the top five, with Simon Jones well up in 10th position. Well, the photographers out in force, and the champagne on the podium. I think the drivers, well, very tough race for them. So Luigi Mazza having a well-deserved sip of champagne as they pose for the photographers. Well, the grid for race 2 is the same as race 1, but the twist being that it's a standing start. So we've got Rémi Puchvat on pole position, with Christophe Desandre in second, Philippe Loup third, and Juan Fabrice in fourth, with Carl Vivian rounding out the top five. It's a very multinational field here at Magny Cours. This weekend's the green flag waved at the rear of the field, so it's eyes to the gantry. The red lights will flash on, they flash out, and away we go. And what a rocket ship start, Renko and Jean Ras, who clears about 3 rows on the grid as they charge towards turn 1, but it's Christophe Lezondre who leads into turn 1, and Jean Ras may be running a little bit wide. We'll pick that up. Yes, he did. So Jean Ras, well, we saw he had a good start. Unfortunately, it all went a little bit pear-shaped for him in turn 1, but at the head of the field, we have got Christophe Lezondre in lead the race, with then chasing him hard is Philippe Loup. So Remy Pourchevin, not such a good standing start. He had a rolling start in race 1, so he's a little bit lower down the order for the first time this weekend as they sprint along this back stretch. We're in car with Carl Vivian. That's Olivier Cunha in his Exige that he's trying to challenge, and Jean-Baptiste Motul just said them as onto the Adelaide hairpin. Philippe Loup mounts a bit for the lead. He outbreaks himself, so does Christophe Lezondre. They both go flying off into the French countryside. Christophe Lezondre gathers it up and maintains the lead. I think Philippe Loup is somewhere out there and will rejoin a little bit lower down the order. What that means is that Remy Pourchevin challenges and takes the lead of the race away from Christophe Lezondre as the field streaming through. Huge variety of cars. We've got the 211s, the Exiges, the Evoras, and then the 340R. That's David Harvey. Very unique looking machinery together with the Elises in the production class. This is the fight at the front of the field, and Christophe Lezondre asking all the right questions with Jean-Baptiste Meusnier as the pack stream through. There's Tom Chataway having a good tussle in the midfield, and Jean Ras has recovered into about 20th position as Christophe Lezondre, well, he always seems to go better in the second race of the weekend. He does the first one, and again at Magny Cours this weekend, that's what we're seeing. And then we've got Steve Williams and Olivier Cunha. They are engaged in battle with then Gregory Ras heading up the Evoras in 6th position as they charge back down the hill on towards the completion of lap 1 of the race. And already the battle's beginning to form very nicely as the absolutely stunning Evora, Thierry Verheist, mounts the challenge. And is he going to go through? Yes, he gains the place just over the curbs, hopping past Carl Vivian. So as Thierry Verheist gains position, we'll go to a break and see you in a couple of moments.